We're here. It's the infamous Rainbow. Steve Summers and JK from Pretty Boy Floyd. What's happening?
How you doing, man?
Bud. Good. Yeah, it's real good.
Of course, we're back on the Sunset Strip here. You know.
You got to take us back to the very first time you came out to LA and came out to Sunset Strip. Tell us about that memory.
Well, first of all, I'm from the Valley.
You're from the Valley?
Yeah, I'm from the Valley.
Oh my God.
So at first, for me, it was the country club in Reseda and all that stuff.
I just drove by it the other day. People.
Yeah.
It's hard to convince anybody today that that was the rock capital of LA.
The country club.
The country
it was
club.
the nice.
People from
2,000
Hollywood would
seater.
go to Reseda. You can't imagine.
Oh no, that was the place.
That was the shit.
Yeah.
The big stage.
Yeah. But of course, the Sunset Strip, I started coming in early 80s, late 70s, back
Did you
when.
ever make it to the Starwood before it closed?
Of course, yeah. I made it to every one of those before, just to see this, that, or that. Oh, the Starwood, I saw Poison there. I missed Motley the first time there, but then I caught Motley at the country club, and oh yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, I know it's hard to describe that scene when it wasn't here, but obviously the energy, especially on Friday, Saturday night, was incredible.
Oh, it was sick. I mean, with everything about it, with all the bands.
Yeah, I'm just glad I wasn't in the cleanup crew. There was a million flyers all over the place.
Yeah,
That was the thing. Who had the most flyers on the ground at the end of the night? It kind of made whether or not you did a good job passing out flyers or not.
Oh yeah.
And then you had to get the brightest colors. So even if they're on the
Astro
floor,
Bright
they were-
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons why Cece got into Poison is his mother ran the print shop or something down the street.
That's
Barbara's place. There we go.
Yeah.
No, it was incredible. I mean, just knowing that, from Van Halen to the Doors to this to that, played all these, and then all of a sudden Motley and Rat are rocking it, and so on and so forth. Everybody from Odin to Keel to this and that, and then, at that point, Pretty Boy Floyd was being put together somewhere in there didn't happen. The put together part didn't happen overnight.
Right.
The playing and the selling out and the deal happened overnight. So,
Well, I know Christy came from New York. Where'd the other guys come from?
one was from Seattle, Vinny, who passed away, our buddy, and Kerry was a Valley boy too.
Okay.
So I pretty much went and auditioned for a band of his, and they sucked, but he was great, and so I took him, and we went from there.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing stuff. So now I know those were interesting days, and every time we drive by Lancashire, we remember when MCA Records was there. You can't even imagine there was a record label at that spot. I think it's Harry Potter Central right now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if they were a record label when they were a record label.
I know, it was strange. I know you guys found it hard to get the support. They had a big R&B department at the time.
Big, well, yeah. I mean,
And their rock acts, none of them lived here. It was Skinner and The Who and whatever. I mean, they were
well, yeah, it was
hardly
Skinner and
developing acts.
Tom Petty and a little bit of Night Ranger and stuff like that. But they made the commitment that they really wanted to try. I mean, their words were pretty much, "We'll pay as much as we can, and we want you to be the next, Motley, Poison, this and that, whatever," which was their words. They tried.
Right.
They just didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah. No, it's
Basically.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Now, obviously, at the time, you could never imagine that this music and this scene would still be alive. Now, what keeps you inspired after all these years to keep this, keep it alive?
Well, Pretty Boy Floyd, I don't know. A lot of these bands took huge breaks, and I can't talk about each one of them or so, but we never really took a break.
Yeah.
I mean, when Nirvana and Alice in
Right.
Chains and all that, we were still going like.
So there was never a big stretch that.
No,
you
I mean
weren't doing it.
there was one time maybe in '92 after we left labels and got new management and stuff like that we said we wanted to regroup.
Yeah.
So we made sure we had the right guys to regroup again, and that was like 2-3 years. But from there we've never stopped. I mean, sure, I never stopped singing in Pretty Boy Floyd. Sure, there's been some different lineups, of course, but no, there was never a point where I said I'm going to stop doing this, because I knew there was
Steve carried
always.
the torch throughout, without a doubt. I mean, there's been different member changes throughout, but Steve has never stopped, ever.
I just knew
And I
there was
admire
always
that.
kids out there that wanted to rock. No one ever stopped liking Kiss or even Bon Jovi to Motley Crue to Guns N' Roses.
And then the internet kicks in.
And then the
it's
internet
a lot
kicked
easier
in.
for people to find out about the bands. And
Yeah.
message people.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, people don't understand when we're talking about breaking records with no internet and no cell phones and no email, no Facebook. they like, how do you even start? The idea of flyering and door-to-door and retail sales.
It was actually.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it was actually
But
fun
the kids
to do.
today, they couldn't even imagine. You take their phone away for an hour and they're dead in the water.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's cool that it's out there for the outlet, but it's not the. It's cool that it's out there for an outlet.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's not. I mean, we're a hands-on.
Yeah.
Hands-on.
Now,
band.
I know it may be a crazy story. Tell me what you can tell me. But I know when you guys went to Vancouver the first time, there's a band in Canada called Pretty Boy Floyd.
Oh, well, I mean, the story isn't that crazy. It's gets out there crazy. The bottom line is when we first started putting Pretty Boy Floyd, I mean, the band together, and we didn't have a name, I didn't even know there was a band, Pretty Boy Floyd.
Of course, there is no internet.
Who would know?
Yeah, never heard of it.
And we actually, the person that came up with the name, the legendary Kim Fowley, he liked us, and he said, look at you guys and this and that, whatever. Fuck, it'd be great, Pretty Boy Floyd. He never told us there was even a band, Pretty Boy Floyd. So it wasn't until.
But you knew there was a gangster named that?
Oh, we knew there was a gangster. Shit, I knew there was a fucking pool player.
Yeah.
I knew there was a pool player. I knew there was a gangster. I know there might have been a boxer or two with the.
Right.
Common this and that, but no bands.
Yeah.
No bands at all. So we were like, okay, great, cool. And we ran so many ads before we were a full band, looking for like the final guy, Christy, Pretty Boy Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd. Just like, no one said anything, no one nothing. It was just when we finally, came out and started becoming big and got our deal when the other band popped out and said like, hey, wait a second. And then we're like, who are you guys? And then I get.
At one point, you had to like reduce it to initials or something.
No, we never had to do that.
Okay.
No. Our labels.
Was like a cooling out period.
No.
Somebody had to buy somebody out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we paid them some money.
Okay.
But barely any.
Yeah.
We paid them like peanuts. We're like, who are you guys, and what have you done? And
Case of beer.
we're like the biggest band on the
20
strip.
Gs and get lost.
We're about to take over. Go away.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. Not in a rude way.
Yeah.
And they were like, great.
We'll take
I
that
think they were
beer
kind of
money.
done. I think they were kind of done anyways.
Right.
They had like an indie record out or something or
Yeah.
whatever. So
now
they didn't
tell
have
us
to
about
agree
joining
with
the
it.
band. How what it means to be a part of this.
Well, actually, long story short, Christy and I played together back in New York, and then I stayed back in New York, and Christy moved out to California, and I had a band, kind of going back to the name thing. I was in a band called Sweet Pain, and there was a band earlier with the Sweet Pain name as well. So I kind of relived that whole story that these guys did. But
Except
Christy,
without the record deal.
no,
just kidding. I'm kidding.
They did have a record deal. The original Sweet Pain did. But Christy and I, we stayed in touch throughout the many, many years, and then I've been playing now with Pretty Boy Floyd since 2005.
Yeah, off and on.
Yep. Yeah. So it's that's kind of my little route through the band, and like I said, Steve and I hit it off, and there's been times Steve and I have had played in versions of Pretty Boy Floyd, and with Christy or without, and it's we're just moving forward now. We have a lot of new stuff being in the works, and we're just excited.
New record
I know
almost
we're
done.
looking forward to the show, but it's got to be bittersweet, the end of Irvine Meadows. I know you guys were there last year for the Cat House Live, but, it's going to turn into a zillion condos or something by next year.
Right.
So what are your best memories of Irvine Meadows?
Me personally, I mean, I saw all my favorite bands there, from Rat to the list goes on and on and on. So, no, I mean, it's great.
We lost the Universal Amphitheater. We lost the House of Blues.
Right.
It's kind of crazy.
Right.
We got to fight for our venues.
Right.
First of all, they take music out of school for the next generation, but now they're trying to close down every venue for these greedy landlords.
Right. They are having a lot of cool concerts there all the way up until the end. No, it's a.
But Irvine, being a Valley boy, Universal Amphitheater, that had to hurt, man.
No. I was sitting on the grass way up there watching my favorite bands, going, "Hey, it'd be great to play there." Blah blah blah. So, all good. As long as they don't take away Staples Center and all that, I'm cool.
Well, pleased to have you. Keep that music alive, man. Keep it rocking. Pretty Boy Floyd. Hair Nation.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, guys.
All righty,
Thank you.
take care.
Appreciate it.